So welcome. Happy Tuesday. We're going to have some fun subjects to speak about today. Really important subjects to speak about today. So glad you're here. And let's see if there's a comment. I've got a viewer. Let's wait for the comment. All good, Coach. Thumbs up. We can hear you. So first and foremost, all right, Sherry, thank you. First and foremost, I want to apologize for the Bears helmet. See, I'm looking at the screens for the Bears helmet behind me. I should take it down. What an embarrassment. I'm a long time. I was born and raised in Chicago, and I'm in the Chicago suburbs in the summers, and in a few weeks we'll head down to Florida for the winter. And that's what older people do. And I guess we're older people now. Our kids are grown, all college graduates. So we're not that old, but old enough to be. But if you go to, beauty about Florida, if you go to Florida, if you think you're old and you think you're rich, just go to Florida. You're not. And we're like the youngest people there, which is perfect for us. But I want to apologize for the Bears. The Bears helmet behind me, they're just terrible. They're an embarrassment to the National Football League. Their entire organization's a mess. So I didn't take the Bears helmet down. And as a diehard fan, born and raised, former season ticket holder, I love the Bears, but it pains me. So I think I'm going to take that down. Arizona State, that two kids go there, and they got me that helmet. So that's there. Their football team sucks too. So maybe it's me. Maybe it's me with these helmets up there. And so anyways, hope you guys are having a great week. And we're going to talk about a very important subject today, which is judgment. And I just learned how to spell. So Sherry, who's our marketing person, sends the creative out, and I saw the word judgment. I'm like, isn't there an E in judgment? And I said, maybe not. It's one of those words like I wasn't sure. And I thought I always spelled it with an E. And so I looked it up, and you spell it with an E in England, but here in the States you spell it with without the E. And of course, Brett, the journalism major, he knew right away that it was no E. So he's always correcting me, and I'm pretty good. Hey Bruce, how are you, buddy? Sean, good morning. Welcome back. I saw that Italy was beautiful, and yeah, and I'm pretty much a wordsmith, and I like to think I have good grammar. I always use, like, if I say you are, like your, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. I'm not the guy to put Y-O-U-R. Like you're great would be apostrophe R-E. So I'm really there, and I always get those right. So, but I learned how to spell judgment correctly for certain this week. All right, so let's talk about judgment. We are conditioned. You'll hear me say this all the time, and I use this example with my clients. I use it here on these live events. We are conditioned from birth to become who we are. Now pay attention here, guys. This is really important. You want to know who you are? I'm going to tell you who you are and why you are. I'm going to tell you why you are. And yeah, it was a full conversation with the team on the spelling. So you are conditioned from birth. So Sean just went to Italy, and who's commenting below. Sean's one of our longtime rock stars, clients in our community, and she's an amazing human being. And she was living in hell. And she was close to dying. If you watch her testimonial video, she was 30 pounds underweight. And the way she gently put it in her testimonial video, she said, and doctor said my mortality was in question. Yeah, she was dying. She was literally dying. Hey, Ann, where you been, Ann? I was just talking with Brett about you yesterday. Man, you're like the prodigal daughter or prodigal sister. Where you been? Good to see you. So, but you're a byproduct of every single thing you've been through. So Sean was just in Italy. I guarantee you there were a lot of people there that spoke Italian and had customs of Italian. Like you walk in Italy, at least the parts I've been to, Milan and Florence and Lake Como, and these beautiful like cafes and like you can get like an amazing looking slice of pizza on every street corner. And then you see the desserts, and it's like that's their custom. That's who they are, and everything's fresh. It's like amazing, and they all have the customs there. And then I went to France, and like they don't get up early in France. Like no, there's no breakfast place. Kelly and I were looking for a breakfast place on the weekend at like 9:00, and people were laughing. And it's like, well, nothing opens here till 10:30. What are you like? Are you guys aliens? But that's just their custom. So everything that you've ever been through in your life, your childhood, schooling, your parents, everything, you've been conditioned since birth to be who you are. And if you look at our society, it's not a happy, good, feel place. You know, if everybody treated people, if everyone, you gained 10 pounds, that's good. That was a goal at one point, Sean. If everybody treated children and teenagers like they do babies, man, this life would be really simple. We were playing golf on Sunday, and my friend Chandler has got this beautiful baby Zoe who's like 9 months old, and she's just a ball of fun. She's laughing all the time. And my wife Kelly got her this little owl, this stuffed animal, and she carries the owl with her everywhere. But here comes Zoe out with Chandler's wife. They live really right off the 11th green, and here they come to say hi. And we walk over, and Zoe's laughing, and all the guys, these big grizzled, old men, are like, "Oh, hey Zoe," and we're speaking to Zoe in baby talk, and how cute are you, and you're wonderful, and you're beautiful, and that's good to see you. And then we go back and be curmudgeon and play golf. And that's what men do, right? So we literally, if everyone treated people growing up, kids growing up like they do babies, it would be great. But something happens to babies around 2, 3 years old. They get a personality. And they, the terrible twos they call it. They're exploring, man. But what do? We got to conform them. They better act like everyone else. Don't let them explore anymore. Don't let them find what they like. Don't let them, no, you've got to sit down, shut up, and we're going to put you in school. So they can teach you how it is. And what are we taught to do in school? Sit down, shut up. You're going to be graded. And you're going to be judged. And you're going to be, and then they get those report cards. I don't know if they still have them now. When I was a kid, we got our grades in the comments. Mike should be more quiet in class. Mike should speak up more in class. Mike's not contributing enough. Mike's a great kid. Whatever it is, but we're judged by other people about the person we are. And then what do? We get letter grades. We're graded. Right? Sherry's an A student, right? Stephanie's a B student. Coach Mike's pulling C minus, right? And that's what I did. I was an average student. I had a lot of intelligence and creativity. I just hated school. And but I did enough to get by. So we're judged. We're graded. And then we have insecurities, right? We compare our body to other kids' bodies. And that's an A student. I'm a C student. That's a great athlete. I'm an average athlete. And we go through every area in our life, and we're literally putting ourselves up against everyone and everything in our life, and our schools and our parents and society is helping us do the same. Now you sprinkle in Facebook. What's amazing about Facebook is everybody's got an unbelievable life with no drama. It's amazing, this beautiful place we live in. They've got the best looking families who all love each other, who are all supportive. They're just amazing, and they never have any problems, right? And that's what we see all day. It's a big crock of bullshit because every family's got stuff they're dealing with. And what do? We're inadequate. We're no good. We're not as good as that person. Everyone has gifts, by the way. I was teasing Zach, who's on our team, came to our live event. Zach's like in his 30s. He's got a full head of hair, and he's ripped. And you could tell he was born with that body. Zach had like six-pack abs when he was 12 months old. I mean, I guarantee it. Zach was just, he was there. And I'm like, if I went through life looking like you, imagine what I could accomplish. Try looking like this, and do what I do. And everybody's got gifts, right? And there's people and you too have gifts, but we're conditioned to see what's wrong with ourselves, the mistakes we made, and we're judging. We were graded our entire childhood. So what do? We judge and grade ourselves our entire life. And that's what we do. We look in the mirror. We don't see what's right. We say, Mary's got a beautiful head of hair. I got stuck with this. Or whatever. Fill in the blank, guys. The bodies, the hair, the face, the smile, the eyes, the teeth. Right? How about kids that wore braces as a kid? Now it's a lot slicker. When I was a kid, it was a mouthful of metal. And kids would be called tinsel teeth. I was never big on teasing kids. I like teasing adults now, but I didn't tease kids. Hey, Tanya, how are you, kid? And Tanya, if you're not in Naples, I may never speak to you again. All right, March. It's like a 3-hour drive for you. Let's cut the BS. So, but they call them tinsel teeth when you had braces. Or what do they do when you wear glasses? I wore glasses. I looked like Ernie from my 3 sons when I was a kid. I did. It was like a show that was on in the 60s, but as I was growing up after that, the reruns were on, right? I looked like Ernie from my 3 sons. And I had the black glasses, the framed glasses. I wear contacts now, but I still wear glasses at night. And they called me Four Eyes. right? If you couldn't run fast, you were teased. If you got bad grades, you were a failure or inadequate. Just fill in the blank of it all. And we grow up with this constant judgment. Now imagine if we flipped it. And I'll get back to the judgment in a minute. Imagine if we flipped the script and, stop with your animals. Get somebody to watch your animals. You go to Naples, I'll watch your animals. So imagine if we flipped the script and we took little Zoe, right, the baby, who's a doll, and I offered our babysitting services to Zoe. So Uncle Mike and Aunt Kelly will babysit Zoe anytime. But if we just kept treating Zoe like we do as a baby, teaching her to explore, encouraging her to be happy, doing everything we can to make her happy. And then when they get a little bit older, what are your passions? What do you love? Let's move in that direction, not sit them down for 8 hours a day and tell them what they're going to learn and grade them on their ability to learn subjects that they hate. Right? I hated algebra and geometry. Hated it. Still to this day I hate it. I couldn't get it. I don't understand it. I still don't understand X plus Y. I don't want to hear about it. I hate it. It's the devil's work. And I know it's important for engineers and so forth and scientists. But I wasn't an engineer and I wasn't a scientist. I was the opposite of that. So to force me to learn and fail at algebra and geometry is pointless, isn't it? But we do it. And kids struggle. And then they don't understand something. And then they feel worse about themselves. Then the pressure builds and they become inadequate. But let's take Zoe. And then when she gets into school, let's find your passions. Let's teach you more about that. And of course, teach you reading, writing, arithmetic, everything that matters. But there's all those things that we should be teaching them too. Emotional intelligence, what your emotions mean, what your thoughts mean. Is it okay to feel sad? Is it okay to fail? Of course it is. And we teach them all that. And then we teach Zoe how to celebrate her gifts, not compare herself to others. And celebrate her gifts every day, her beauty, her kindness, her big heart, whatever Zoe grows up, her creativity, her whatever. And start teaching her to just find her beauty. And then she'll find the beauty in the world and she'll attract more people that see her beauty. And then celebrate every person they come across for their gifts. No jealousy, no spite because somebody's prettier than you or more handsome than you or they're the quarterback on the team when you're the backup lineman. That's great. That's their gift. And I used to do that when I was a kid, man. I was a good athlete, but man, there were studs in my neighborhood. And you go through that inadequacy phase and like you're comparing yourself to others. And I see everyone on Facebook that I grew up with now. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change places with them for the world. Not because I'm brilliant and all that stuff. I love my life. Took me a long time to get there, but I do. But we grow up with this sense of inadequacy that we're not good enough. And then we compare it and we look in the mirror and we see what's wrong. We can accomplish 10 things on our to-do list and we're beating ourselves up for the one thing we didn't accomplish. We make a comment in the crowd and we worry about what everybody thinks of us. Or did we say the right thing? Do we do the right thing? I wonder if that person isn't speaking to me today. I wonder if I did something wrong. That person's got some other game playing, going on right now in their head. It has nothing to do with you, but they're in your head. What do? It's about us. We are constantly inadequate. We are constantly insecure. And we move around in our life and we judge ourselves. Every single thing we do is under our own personal microscope. And then when we fail, holy shit, we're the only human that's ever failed on the planet. You talk about, hey, Michael, how are you, buddy? We're the only humans that have ever failed on the planet. And if we just said, hey, I screwed up. Yeah, absolutely screwed up. How do I make it right? But we don't. We make excuses. We because we're inadequate. But personally, we beat ourselves up. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I say that? You say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, and then you hang on to it forever. We revisit the things that we did wrong 5, 10, 20 years ago. Instead of making it right, moving on. I'm a better person now. I want to make it right, and I'm going to move on. I made a mistake in the moment. I was in that state of being that didn't serve me at the time, and I said and did the wrong thing. Great, it was a moment. And you look at, we live in this society, too, that judges people. You look at, Will Smith. He snapped one night because he was embarrassed about what Chris Rock was saying on stage. So Will Smith gets out of his chair, a moment he's probably relived a million times in his head, and slaps Chris Rock on stage. He yells at him, slaps him, leaves the stage. Now he's canceled. And and I'm sure he's apologized. I don't follow Will Smith too much, but Will Smith's body of work, I think, up to that point was pretty good guy. I think a self-made guy, actor, musician, rapper, whatever he was. He wasn't really a rapper, but he was like soft rap and let's call it white rap, right? Seriously, it was like for the suburban white kids to enjoy rap, right? So it was very clean, very, and my kids used to make fun of it a lot, and but he's a good guy, and he made a mistake. Now, I get it. It was in the moment a stupid mistake, right? But are we going to vilify this guy and ruin his life because he made a mistake? And yeah, there's some mistakes that are way worse than others, right? There's some really, really bad people out there that, that was a mistake. Or you look at when somebody falls, they turn around, they look around to see who saw them. Everyone falls. We've all tripped and fell at one point in our life. And if we just got up and laughed and said, boy, I look stupid or what? Or just laughed because everyone else has tripped. Fear of public speaking. Right? Everyone's afraid to be on the camera. Everyone's afraid to be up in public. It's the biggest fear in the world, over death. Yet no one really ever gets hurt public speaking. There's nothing to fear except looking stupid, and sometimes we look stupid when we speak publicly. Sometimes I do videos that aren't that very good. And sometimes I look at my own videos like, man, you look like shit in that video. And it's all okay. But we're afraid of it because we're judged, and we judge ourselves. And we sit in this place of insecurity, inadequacy, and judgment every single day in our life. And why not start to embrace everything you've ever been, everything you've ever done, and be okay with it? Why not? Isn't that a place of peace? And if you have somebody to apologize to, or something to apologize for, or something to make it right, then make it right if you feel that you have to do that. And if you did wrong somebody, the only thing that you could do about it is apologize to someone. Sorry. Hope I didn't hurt you. Hope if I hurt you, I'm sorry. Hope you forgive me. Now, it's their choice at that point. They don't want to forgive you, great. If you've made a mistake, then just make it right. If you're at work and you're crippled in fear, then ask somebody for help. Reach out to us, obviously, but if you need to, but instead of like spiraling in stress and worry and overwhelm, reach out for help. There's always people who want to help you. Humans are really good like that. If you ask somebody for help, they'll help you, and or they'll lead you to the answer. But we do that. We're constantly picking apart what's wrong with us. We do this exercise. We've done this exercise at live events. We don't do it at all, but we do what's called a bully exercise. And people write down their limiting beliefs. I can't accomplish this. I'm not outgoing. I can't find the right relationship. Whatever it is, and why they beat themselves up over it. And then we write the new beliefs. Relationships are easy, right? Whatever the belief is, it's just a story you tell yourself over and over again. So it's easy to be happy. My life is perfect. It's easy. It's stress-free. It's enjoyable. Whatever the new belief is. And then we have a bully sitting behind them. So the person's facing this way and the bully's behind them. They can't see the bully. And they're reading their new beliefs. And the bully behind them is telling them all the reasons based on their old beliefs that they can't achieve the new beliefs. It's really a vicious exercise. It feels really bad for the bully. And the bully, Tanya's experienced it and Sean's experienced it. And they all say the same thing. I hated that. I hated making somebody feel bad about that. And I said, yeah, it's terrible. Why do we do it to ourselves? And we do. We look in the mirror and we say, we're no good. We're ugly. We're fat. We've got a blemish. We're bald. Whatever. We look at our life and say, I'm a failure. I'm 35 years old. I should be further. I'm 45 years old. I can't believe this. I'm 55 years old and I got divorced and all this crap that we just keep beating ourselves up for. And we're only beating ourselves up because Joe Smith has it better than us. He was better than us. Or Mary's like doing rock stars and we're a failure. Mary's got her stuff too, I promise you, and so does Joe. But we do that because we're afraid of what people think of us. And the opportunity is to not do that anymore. And the opportunity is to not give a rat's ass about what anybody thinks of you. Is provided you're doing a good enough job yourself. If you're doing your best, and I remember I got to this place back around 06, I was just beat on. when I was going through my divorce, and I'm not gonna, rip on my ex or anything, but there were people that came after me big time, and I was just beat on. And I remember waking up one day and I'm like, I don't give a shit who thinks what of me anymore. My goal is to be better next year than I am today, and then the next year, and the next year. I was working on me. It was an inside job, and I was tired of the judgment. I spent, months and months, probably over a year of my life, just beating myself up over what happened, beating myself up over my failures, and I'm like, enough, right? I don't give a shit what anybody thinks of me anymore. If my commitment is becoming a better man, better father, better person, better professional, year on year, then that's enough for me. And I don't give a shit about who or what anybody thinks of me. And I can promise you that's the way I've lived my life over the last 16, 17 years. And whatever it's been. And I just don't, do I care about people? Absolutely. I would challenge anyone to find someone who loves their clients more than I do. And I really care about our clients. They're amazing people. And I care about you guys. Everyone's seeing this video. I care about you. Even though I haven't met you yet, but I want the good life for you. But everyone's got an opinion. I get barbecued online every day. I mean, we actually made a video. Everybody, he looks like Belichick. Is the Patriots coach, and it's all over the jokes and the whatever, and we get blistered all. And we have fun with it. We made a Belichick video, and of me referencing the Belichick comments. So have fun in life with that stuff, but don't take life so serious. Don't take your life so serious. And especially when it relates to your opinion about yourself. Are you doing the best you can? Seriously, are you doing the best you can every day? And if you are, then that's good enough. And then do everything you can to be better. And if you don't value yourself, I would really sit down and ask yourself why. And then I'd start finding things that are good about you and focusing there. Because if you beat yourself up every day and you're an expert in all your flaws, physical, personality flaws, and you're an expert in all your mistakes, you're literally training your mind to be in a state that we call inadequate, and you're literally creating a low self-worth. Or maybe you were abandoned as a child, dad left, mom left, or maybe you were bullied as a kid or criticized as a kid, which is all a breeding ground. Remember I said we're a byproduct of everything we've been in our life. That's all a breeding ground for a state of being of inadequacy, that you're not good enough. And that means you have a low self-worth. Well, you're literally a magnet that's going to attract things and people and circumstances for you to get proof that you're not worthy. So people with low self-worth, they can't get a relationship they deserve. They can't get the money they deserve. It's impossible. You're defying an energetic law of this universe we live in. And you can't move around in a state of being of low self-worth or inadequacy and have confidence and certainty. You could pretend, but when the lights are down at night and you're laying in bed, you'll know who you really are. So the opportunity is maybe to take a sheet of paper out and start writing down everything you've accomplished this year, maybe everything you've accomplished in your life, and then add your good qualities and good characteristics in there. And maybe what you love about yourself. Maybe you've got great legs, great feet, good hair, nice teeth, beautiful eyes, whatever. And then think about the people in your life that do love you, that truly love you and would be there for you. And moving day is always the test. When you're moving and need help, the people that are there helping you, those are the people that are truly your friends in life. So that's a good barometer. Ask anybody to help you move something. If they say yes, they truly love you. And start developing a higher self-worth. And guys, broom the judgment from here on in. It's not necessary. You don't have to beat yourself up over every mistake. Try harder. Try not to make the mistake again, and become a better person. And apologize or make whatever you did wrong right. Everybody fails. Everyone. There's one perfect person who I think walked this earth a couple thousand years ago. That's it. Everyone else is blemished. They're flawed. We make mistakes. It's who we are. We're humans. It's the human experience, right? We make mistakes. I do. You do. Everyone does. Make it right. Apologize. And then bury it because it's not serving you. Stop thinking about it. Stop ruminating. But if you're in a state of inadequacy, the mind's going to take you to everything you've ever screwed up on. That's why we've got to raise that self-worth so you can have the life you deserve. And you're good enough. Like people that are dating, if they can't find the right person and they're looking and looking and looking, It just takes one. And I guarantee you, every single person watching this video is deserving of meeting the soulmate. Their lid for their pot. That everything's just easy and the person values you. But you'll never meet that person if you're in a state of being of inadequacy or low self-worth. It's impossible. And you'll never have the career, the success, the joy, the friendship, the peace, the contentment if you're in a state of being of judgment and low self-worth. It can't happen. So make this commitment now to stop being the bully to yourself, to stop seeing everything that's wrong, to stop beating yourself up constantly, stop revisiting your mistakes, and get rid of your childhood, guys. It happened. It's over. If it was traumatic, then heal it. If you need our help, we'll help you. But enough. Okay, enough. You don't have to keep talking about what your dad and mom did to you. I grew up in a war zone, emotional war zone. The Hall of Fame fighting. If we would have won any competition for family fighting in this world. So it was that kind of environment I grew up in, and that's okay. It made me who I was, and I had the opportunity to learn how to change that. And so shelve the judgment. It's not serving you. It's no good. Stop being the bully. Make it right. Move forward, and keep focusing on what is good about you. And no, not everyone has to like you. Focus on the people in your life that you have that love you, and you'll attract more. When you're raising your self-worth and you get into a state of being of acceptance around yourself, peace around yourself, if you get into that state of confidence, certainty, you're enough, and watch what happens in your life. Or you can keep beating yourself up, judging yourself, judging every occurrence as good or bad, whatever. And know that, and that's a whole different subject too, judging the occurrences in life. If you're flowing through life easily, I'm going over 30 minutes. Sherry's going to yell at me. But if you're judging your every experience you have in your life, if you know your outcome, I spoke to a client yesterday who's crushing in the 8-week program. He thanked me on Voxer. He sent me this beautiful note, and he goes, "Coach, I'm so thankful for you and your team, and I've got the life I finally deserve." And he left me a voice Voxer, and he said, 3 years ago I was fired from a job. And I was devastated. And my sister literally said, "Well, you always wanted to start your own company. Do it." And he goes, "What if I fail?" She said, "What if you don't?" She said, "Do it." And that turned out to be the catalyst. Now he's making more money than he's ever made. He's got this wonderfully successful company, but now he knows he could take it to epic levels. He's in the program. He's got the tools now. And he's like, that event, I thought it was bad. It was like a really good thing to get fired. And that's what we do. We judge it. If you've ever had your heart broken, it's devastating. But then a year later, you meet your soulmate, and 30 years later, you think, I would never trade places. I'm so glad that I got dumped by that person so I can meet this person. This world, this universe, God, whatever it is, has this funny way of making things work out. And if we stop judging every occurrence, we stop judging ourselves constantly, and we get into that state of flow, the zone, and just go with life and trust it and live in this place of peace and serenity, and I'm enough today. Maybe I want to get better, but I'm enough today, and I'm just going to keep getting better every day, every year. It's a powerful place to be. And then when we stop judging everything that happens in our life and everyone and every comment and we stop getting caught up in that bullshit minutia, then life becomes easy. All right, guys, so let's make this commitment moving forward. If you've seen this video today, Tuesday, or whenever you see it, let's make a commitment to shelve the bully. Let's fire the bully. Let's get rid of the bully, and live a judgment-free life moving forward. Celebrate your gifts. If you've got to get better, get better. Be accountable. Be aware of what you need to improve, but let's get rid of the bully. All right, guys, happy Tuesday. We'll see you next week.